Alright, I'm going to show you how to test your fuel pump. First of all, find your fuel pump relay, pull it out. The ignition is off on this car. I've got my test light hooked up, the clamp on the negative, and as you can see, my test light works. I'm going to probe each connection here, see which one has power all the time. Your car may not have power on it all the time, so your ignition switch might have to be on in order to do this. So this car requires it to be off. So here's my power all the time here. On these fuel pump relays, usually diagonally across, if you jump these two together, this is how you'll run your fuel pump. When you do this, be cautious of gas fumes. There will be a little bit of spark here, so make sure you have no open fumes. Hook these two together. At this point, you can hook up a pressure gauge, see what kind of pressure you have. You can listen to your fuel pump at the tank and see if it's running. And then you can also disconnect your main fuel line and run it into a cup or a tank and see what kind of flow you have. If you have another issue, you can go back to the fuel pump harness, disconnect it from the pump if it's accessible, see if you have 12 volts there. Also check and make sure you have ground there, because if you don't have a ground, your fuel pump's not going to run. Hopefully this helps you out, and you'll see me checking the fuel at the rail and then listening for the pump behind. And we can also hook up an amp meter, see how many amps our fuel pump is pulling, 6.91 amps. You can see our connections there, they're just loosely set in there. So this can check your ground, make sure you have a good ground and such. Okay, here we are jumping my fuel pump relay briefly. See, I've got fuel. If you got a working fuel pump and you want to drain your tank, you can actually use this method. Just run your fuel hose into a tank somewhere, make sure there's no leaks, and you can pump all your fuel out. My fuel pump relay was pulled out, the wires jumped together, fuel pump is running. You can actually listen to the fuel pump run. Put your ear to the gas cap here, and obviously if it's working, you'll hear it. In this case, I can actually hear it running on the right frame rail, and you can see the fuel pump right there.